The studio by former two-weight world champion Natasha Jonas, plus a man preparing for his first world title shot, Dalton Smith. Great to have both of you in studio. Dalton, let's start with you. It's every fighter's dream to box for a WBC world title, and this opportunity almost took you by surprise. Tell us about the experience of sitting ringside for Poyo versus Matthias and how that all escalated very quickly.
Yeah, so first of all, it's every boxer's dream to fight for a world title, and I worked my way up for that position. But yeah, I was out in New York for the fight, Matthias Puello, and the whole plan was to obviously have my face there. I was the mandatory, and hopefully we get the fight after. But after meeting Turkey, His Excellency, he was, I know this guy he's fighting the winner, and we're gonna have a face off and announce it in the ring after. So I thought, happy days, fight's done.
Natasha, Cyril Matthias is a tough opponent. He's aggressive and heavy-handed, but has Dalton got the skills to beat him?
I think so. We were speaking earlier, and I think he's aggressive. He comes forward. He's a big puncher, can be, but he also gets hit a lot. I thought I was there as well at the last fight in New York, and I thought he faded in the second half of the fight and let Puello come back into it and gain a few rounds. And it was a fight that could have went either way, depending on what you like to see. So there's definitely weaknesses in the armour, and as long as he keeps his concentration and is just disciplined, then I think he's got all the beatings, because he's got the movement, he's got the boxing skills and the know-how, and I think it'd be a great fight.
Dalton, you're known for your impressive skills, but will you have to show some grit and warrior spirits in this fight?
Maybe. Hopefully not. Hopefully it's easier in there. But look, this is the elite boxing, pound for pound, the best in the world, and that's what I'm excited to show. Anyone who's really I've fought haven't really challenged me that much. So I think it'll be a physical fight. Of course, it's going to be tough, but that's what most important, what I'm excited for, to prove to people that I can do that. I can bite down on the gum shield if I need to, and of course you don't want it to happen, but of course I am excited to show everybody else what else I can do.
Do you think you can win by stoppage?
I've been very, very confident. Of course, Subriel is a great champion, former IBF world champion also, and I think the second half of the fight, I think once I've figured his range, his pace of the fight, I'd be very confident to take him out in the second half.
Right, it's time to introduce our next guest now, a heavyweight who's preparing for a big night in Dalton's hometown of Sheffield. Welcome, David, the White Rhino, Allen. Dave, great to have you joining us. Yeah, wonderful. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
And clearly in the car. Thank you for making time. Now, you shocked a number of people, plus Eddie Hearn, when you selected your opponent for Sheffield Arena. Aslanbek Makhmudov is one of the hardest punchers in the division.
Yeah, when you head like Sheffield Arena, Nassim Hamed, Kell brought Dalton Smith, it's my turn now. And when I got the list of names sent to me, I thought, well, we might as well make the most of it while we're here. So I picked Makhmudov. Yeah, he's big, he's dangerous. He's someone that will help me fill Sheffield Arena. I know if I beat him, he'll send me on my way to really big fights.
Dave, Makhmudov said he's coming to hunt you on October 11th. Is this all the motivation you need for the training camp?
Not really, no. The motivation is I'm going to be really rich if I beat him. So, yeah, if I beat him, yeah, wow, I'll be so rich. It'll be unbelievable. So I'm not bothered about him. I just want to beat him and just have another big fight and then hopefully chill out for the rest of my life. That's the plan.
Listen, we appreciate the brutal honesty. You're coming off that big win over Johnny Fisher. Do you enjoy the underdog role and shocking opponents once that first bell rings?
Yeah, I think the underdog tag that I've had most of my career is I thrive off it, really. Every time I've been expected to win, I get beat. I'm not very good with pressure. That's why I picked Makhmudov. I think a lot of people will expect Makhmudov to beat me, but I like that, really. Yeah, I like to shock. I think Makhmudov will be, when he gets in there with me, I think most fighters in the game, they'll be very surprised. I'm a little bit defensively cuter than they expect. I'm a lot stronger than they think. I don't look particularly much. But yeah, again, I think I can beat Makhmudov. I think I am the underdog, but I think I've got the right style to beat him.
So you mentioned them earlier, Prince, Naseem Ahmed, Cal Brook and Dalton Smith, who's obviously here with us. You're following in their footsteps by headlining a bill in Sheffield. How does that feel? And are you saving Dalton a ringside seat?
Yeah, I'm over the moon with it, really. Something I've always wanted to do. I first boxed at Sheffield Arena over 12 years ago. It was actually an Amir Khan undercard I was on. I boxed on many Cal Brook undercards. I've actually been in touch with the Prince, Naseem Ahmed, about doing a ring walk with me. Hopefully Dalton will be there as well. So yeah, it's great to join them list of names. I'm not from Sheffield, I'm from Doncaster, but you know, to headline Sheffield Arena for me is pretty much my home arena. Yeah, I'm very proud of it. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, Dave, and the very best of luck for your training camp. Sorry.
Thank you.
Dalton, just on what Dave said there, he seems to have chosen an opponent that scares him. How do you get motivated for your own long training camps?
I think that's the main thing. When you've got the fear factor in front of you, that's what gives you that hunger, that drive, and especially like if you're the underdog. But you know, he's a legend of the sport. It's good to see that he's getting something good from boxing. And of course, I'll be there ringside watching him fight. We've got Junaid Boston on the card as well. So yeah, he's good for boxing. He's a great role model, and of course, it's going to be a great fight.
Has your father Grant already lined up some fearsome sparring partners to mimic Matthias?
Yeah, so we've got it all in place. You know, especially my last couple of camps, I've always flown my sparring partners in to get the best out of my camps, and yeah, we've got all that set up, ready to, you know, kickstart a great camp.
Let's move quickly to football, because your team, Sheffield Wednesday, the club seems to be in chaos at the moment. I know Barry Bannon has attended a number of your fights.
Yeah, Barry's a legend on and off the pitch, but of course, my home club, Sheffield Wednesday, is not in the greatest positions at the minute, but hopefully we can get new ownership. I feel like really that's the main thing. That's what we need. It's not in a good position for that, but I think this is the moment where the fans need to get together. You know, football's about the players and the fans, and you know, I think this is where we really need to get together and come through the hardships, because I know it'll come good. And you know, Sheffield Wednesday's got one of the best supports. Obviously, we've just sold out the first game of the season at the weigh-in, so you know, it's going to be big. But fingers crossed, we get new ownership, and you know, we can kickstart a career what's obviously not been so great so far.
Yeah, Tasha, we can't let you go without discussing your own boxing career. Is there still a chance you could lace up the gloves?
I mean, you'll never say never. A big opportunity comes for a big fight. Like Dalton said, and Dave, you need that fear factor sometimes to get you motivated, especially at the stage I am in my career right now. So there's still one or two names that could pull me out. But we'll see what happens.
What's life been like not being in camp, not constantly keeping sharp?
It's been different. It's been, yeah, it's nice to be normal sometimes and get the break away from boxing. You know, it's such a big part of your life that when it's not there, it's hard to fill the void positively. But I've got, you know, stuff that I want to do, stuff that I've still yet to do. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
How much are you missing it as we look at these pictures here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at myself thinking, why haven't I got my hands up and why am I doing this? So, yeah, no, you know, there's nothing that will replace that high of standing on the platform ready to walk out and going into the big fight. As Dalton will experience, and there's nights you'll never forget, you know. So, like I say, the sport's given me a lot. But yeah, you know, you've got to walk away from the sport before it retires you.
Yeah, Clarissa Shields says she's hoping to tempt 47-year-old Layla Ali out to make a comeback. Is Clarissa running out of competition and meaningful opponents?
I would say so. I think because of how competitive some of the other weight divisions are, I think it's tough for Clarissa. She's in a lose-lose situation, so she has to keep going up to get more belts and get more accolades, but there's no real competition there for her. So she's just, you know, winning convincingly, blowing everyone away, and she can only beat who's in front of her. But they're not the kind of fights that we want to see her involved in. And I think, you know, there was back and forths on social media about, you know, a certain amount of money that Layla wanted, and Clarissa said she'd got it. Layla refutes that. So I don't. If it does become a fight, it'll just be like a Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson kind of thing, in my opinion. You have to just take it for what it is. But as a competitive fight, I mean, I don't want to disrespect Layla Ali in any way, but, you know, female fighting's come a long way since her day, and, you know, she is that little bit older and that little bit, you know, a long time retired. To get yourself back to boxing fit at that age would be some feat, especially to defeat one of the greatest females that we've had. So, interesting.
Very interesting indeed. Now, your former opponent, Terry Harper's in line to face Caroline Dubois. What do you make of that as a fight?
I think it's a good fight. You know, Terry Harper's a big name and a great name to have on your record for Caroline. I think the way the trajectories of their careers are going at the minute, I was at Terry's last fight, and to be fair, I don't think it was one of her better performances. But she can, you know, I think the better people that are in front of her, the more she'll step up. But I just think Caroline at the minute is, you know, is in a class of her own, and I think, you know, she had a tough fight out last time, but she's learnt a lot from that, and I think she'll keep on going, keep on progressing, and keep on getting better. And again, she needs them opponents to bring her up, you know, and show the best that she's got. And I think the styles will gel well, but ultimately, I think Caroline will be too much.
Thank you so much for your time, Tasha and Dalton, as well. Good luck with your training camp coming up.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you all. That's all we got time for. To Tasha, Dalton and David, remember to download the Toe to Toe podcast and join us next Tuesday for more special boxing guests.